Hey everyone, thank you for joining me on Facebook Live. I'm Tom Bachik, OPI Global Nail Ambassador, and today I want to share with you the fun and excitement that we had backstage at the Jeremy Scott Moschino show about a week and a half ago. So, I'm often asked, how do you come up with the look? Where do you get the inspirations? This was one of those jobs that really comes kind of last minute. It's like because of the schedules and the way everything was working out, we literally had one day to create this look. I was at a job in Las Vegas and I was sent a quick 2-second video going over some pictures and said, here's the direction for the job. We'll see you tomorrow at 12:30 for our test. So I drive in from Vegas straight to LA to the test site where Jeremy Scott and his team have all the clothes set up. Hair's there, makeup's there, the models are there trying on their looks. And what they normally do at a show is a model board. And you can see on your screen, we have pictures of all the models. We had 50 models in total. There were 36 girls and 15 guys. So now, how do we create the look? What are nails going to be? I wanted you guys to see the pictures because for this show in particular, I wanted you guys to really take a look at the diversity of the looks. They're all over the place. We had sophisticated showgirl metallics. The theme was circus, gypsies. So we had wild, crazy colors. We had ornate patterns, geometric patterns. You could see metallics adorned with gems and beading. So how do the nails fit into this picture? How do we create the look? Susie Weiss-Fishman is often quoted that nails are the punctuation at the end of a sentence. And that works perfectly for fashion. When we're creating the nail look, I like to get into the artist's head and see what his direction is. What's his story? What's his sentence? The nails then complete that. They give you that attitude to the sentence. You know, is it sassy? Is it fun? Is it sexy? The nails tie it all together. So this is really important for me. So now that you've got an idea of what all the looks looked like, I came in on the model board. There was, oh my gosh, each model had more than one look. We had 36 girls. The nails had to work with all the different looks. So now it's, okay, how do we create the inspiration? What inspires me? Is it more than one thing? Is it just one thing? I was taught early on that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. And so it's more important to listen. So when I go to the shows, when I'm working with a client on a special event, I like to determine, I like to listen, to what my client's saying, what the stylist is saying. And so the same thing started at this show. I came in, I saw the mood board, I saw the references, what all the outfits were that the models were going to wear. And so for the first thing for me was, how do I play off of that? How do we tie nails into that? And so I started by choosing colors. So the first thing, and you'll be able to see on the screen, is a row of colors that I picked with. Remember, this is the Moschino Jeremy Scott summer show. It was all about bright colors, metallics. And so, for me, it was about playing off of that. Originally, the only direction that was given was there's circus performers, there's gypsies, and there are showgirls. So you've got freedom. So sitting with Jeremy, he basically said, hey, I looked at your site. I love your stuff. I love the sparkles. So I got circus, gypsies, showgirls, sparkle. What's next? I start choosing colors that tied in with the looks. And the great thing about this is I had a number of colors to choose from. I had classic shades such as No Room for the Blues, and exotic birds don't tweet. I also pulled some of our iconic shades like Alpine Snow and Big Apple Red. And then of course, nothing would be complete if we didn't pull from the latest, greatest collection, our Grease collection, and pulled Summer Lovin' and Tell Me More, Tell Me More. There's actually a couple different colors. So talking with them originally, I had kind of a preconceived notion. Getting the video on my drive from Vegas to LA, it was a lot about, okay, where do we want to go? The Met Ball had just happened. I had played with very severe square nails, French manicures, and was kind of loving the whole 90s French manicure thing. So in my head, where I wanted to go with this was multicolored French manicure nails, playing off of negative space, as well as bright, fun colors that went along with the show. Remember, it's summertime, and right now the trend is your classic primary, secondary, bright colors. Blue, yellow, red, green, purple, like your key primary colors, all the rage. Yellow is going to be such a hot color this summer. I'm sure you're already seeing it everywhere. And so these were shades that I definitely wanted to incorporate into the look. Being there, after talking with the team, and they're like, yeah, we like that direction, but, you know, show me a little something. So I sat down and created a couple of the looks, which you just saw. French manicure, squared shape, multiple colors, playing off negative space, abstract patterns of colors, geometric patterns of colors, and metallics to play off of the showgirls. One of the things that happens in the creative process is sometimes what you think sounds good in your mind, when you actually put it down on the nail, it doesn't quite translate as powerful as you want. And so after seeing, and obviously I wanted you guys to see this. Yes, they're sloppy. Yes, they're quick. It's a 2-minute job designed for me just to get kind of a visual idea of balance and positive and negative space and how the nails will look with the clothes that we're matching them to. For this look, to me, the nails blended with the clothes and basically just disappeared. There wasn't enough color, it wasn't dramatic enough, and I felt like the nails were going to just get lost. The direction that I got from here was not too square, more color. I like sparkle. So now the wheels are turning, and this is where, as an artist, I have to step back and rethink the whole thing. What is my inspiration? What was Jeremy's inspiration? What did he see in his line that I also can take cues from, so that the nails are just an extension of the line itself and what he's trying to convey with his message. So then from there, what I start doing is I start going through the racks of clothes. Yes, I have all the pictures, but now I want to see the clothes themselves. Walking through the racks of the clothes, and here's some of the behind the scene footage where, you know, we're actually going through, taking a look at the different ideas. This also helps me refine my color choices, making sure that I have the right colors. I actually even included a couple colors from an upcoming collection launching soon. Make sure you go to OPI.com, sign up for the mailing list to get all the updates, and get to see all those new things. Looking at the accessories on the tables. We had accessories laid out all over the studio, on the tables, on the floors. We had the racks and racks and racks of clothes. And then we also had, you can see I was picking colors and accessories for color choices, as well as what was hair doing? How was hair tied into the look? You can see all sorts of colors, bright colors, pastel colors, muted colors. It was kind of all over the place. Makeup, the same feel, bright colors, pastel colors, you know, The look is circus performers, the look is gypsies, the look is festive, the look is showgirls, and entertainment, and how does this all come together? So then I step back and I start to pay attention to what's happening on the test. So let me explain the test too. I'll back up a little bit because sometimes I start talking and I feel like people already know what I'm talking about. So when we're doing a show, a hair team is chosen, makeup team, and nails. And usually there's a lead hair, makeup, and nail tech or artist. And then each of us are designated to put together a team, create the looks, and come on day of the show and get the models ready for the runway. Usually the day before or 2 days before. In this case, it was the day before. It was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Hair was there, makeup was there, and I was there to test the looks that we're going to put on the models. So as the models try on their looks, we go in and say, you know what, for these looks, this is how hair should look. And for this show, we got to work with the awesome Orbe for hair, and for makeup, Kabuki did some incredible fun looks. And so for me, it's how are they relating to the style, and then how do nails not only relate to the look of the clothes, but how do they tie in with hair and makeup so that we have one consistent look. We don't want hair to look one way, makeup to look one way, nails to have a completely different look. So it's really all about tying the looks together, and so that you have one cohesive look that hopefully is Jeremy's vision. There you can see the different accessories laid out throughout the studio, colors. The word that came to mind for me was variety. So yes, I had this preconceived notion of what I wanted to do, and it wasn't working. It didn't look right. It wasn't impactful. It was going to get lost. As I sat and talked with hair and makeup and Jeremy and his team, and watching the models themselves get their looks tried on with hair, with makeup, it was really is really when the inspiration started coming and where I started to get exciting, because the look was all over the place. It was about a circus. It wasn't, it was about bright colors, fun colors. And for me, the nails, they didn't need to complement the outfits, they needed to contrast the outfits. It was bright summer colors, and I wanted the nails to pop, to stand out. So that when we created the looks, they weren't crazy patterns because the clothes were crazy patterned. They weren't heavily adorned and overly ornate looks because the outfits were ornate. So we wanted the nails to be simple. We wanted the nails to be clean. We wanted the nails to be bright and really contrast and stand out from the look, but encompass the overall feel. So as we go through the story, you guys, I want you guys to be involved. So if you guys have any questions at all as we go through this, please comment below. Samantha's here with me, and she'll relay the questions to me, and we can answer all your questions. This same type of process also happens when I work with my celebrity clients. So if we're doing a music video, if we're doing a red carpet, we normally don't get weeks, months to determine what the look's going to be. We usually get to the event, we have a rack of clothes, or we have a final 3 looks, which are always completely different. The celebrity decides at the moment which look we're going to do, and then as a team, hair, makeup, nails, we have to create the look to support that following their fashion preference. So it's always, people think, okay, oh my gosh, it must be so high stressful, it must be totally crazy, and it is, but you learn to actually thrive on that and live on that and expect changes to happen and expect the unknown to be really what drives the process. All right, so for this, it's time now to create the looks, but before we do, it's prep. So now the next thing that we're told from the stylist is that we want all the models to have a little bit of length to their nails. Okay, so not short nails, but not long nails. We want them all the nails to look deliberate, but a little bit soft, or not, soft's not the right word, understated. So a deliberate length, so all the models, are done and they've got a bit of excess from head to toe, but nothing crazy, no severe shapes or severe lengths. So on my model today, we have a nice, shorter natural length nail. Remember, this is summertime and we're going to be very active. And the cool thing is, as I talk about this too, I'm also going to start tying in how this look relates to what we're seeing every day for summer. As we go, so let me back up a little bit. We've talked about the direction given from the designer. So the direction's given from the designer, and it is not too long, not too square, bright. I like sparkle. And we have 36 models to complete. It's now going on 5 o'clock, and you have about 20 hours to make this happen. The next step, once we've got general direction that we're going to for our look, now comes all the prep work. It's not as easy as just going and doing nails. Now, some shows will create the look. The team will get together and actually do the look on the models the day of the show. But for this look, because Jeremy wanted all the nails to be lengthened, we decided to take the approach of actually creating the nails beforehand and then just applying them to the model. So we actually spent more time in the prep, less time in the application. Where at some shows, some events, it's just reverse. You can actually spend a much less amount of time creating the look, but then when you're there, you're putting the look on all of these models as you're there, as they're in hair, as they're in makeup. And so both have their upsides and their downsides. For this, it was pre-creating the looks. It's now about 5 o'clock, and I'm driving out to Calabasas, to the OPI studio in beautiful Calabasas, California, where I've got 2 techs waiting for me, and we're now going to take a bazillion nail tips. We're going to create our length and our shape, and we're going to file and shape about 500 tips because these need to go on 36 models. So this is where things take time and things continue to go. You can see that I've got a picture there where I start to write out and organize in my head what the looks are. The colors that I've chosen, and kind of the looks that I want to put on them. Now, when we're creating these looks, we also have to lay out on boards. So this is the team that actually started creating the looks, but we haven't gotten there yet. There's still more prep happening before that. So, Samantha, do we have any questions yet?
Yes, we do. So someone wants to know, the 90s fashion is trending.
Yes.
Square nails are back.
90s fashion is trending. Do I think that square nails are back? I'm going to have to say yes. Definitely on a trending side. It's not for everyone, but I feel that the 90s nail style is becoming very popular. A number of my clients are going more square. Even if they say softer square, it's still more towards the square. And I'm even seeing a resurgence in French manicures. Not only pink and white, but colored tips, especially for summer. So there could be a comeback for that.
Clarify the question one more time. I was just wondering if the 90s, if the square nails were back from the 90s.
Do you want me to answer it again?
Nope.
I repeated the question, yeah? Okay, just making sure. Okay, so great question. And that was kind of my original take on this, but it didn't go that way. So now is the prep steps. Yes, the prep. I know it's boring. You guys are like, come on, get on with the looks already. But you guys have to understand everything that goes behind this. It's not just a simple process of, oh, let's create a couple of looks and get them on the models. We literally we met with 2 techs. We start shaping and creating 500 nails because we have to have multiple sizes for each finger because all of the models have different size fingers. So we don't just create 20 nails, we try to create 40 nails per model, 36 models. So you can see the time involved. 6 hours later, we're heading into the wee hours of the morning. It's after midnight. It's time to pack up and start going home to get a bit of sleep. So the techs head home. I head back to the room. I got a hotel instead of heading home because I live a little bit out of town. I go back to the room and now it's like, okay, let's finalize the looks that are going to be adorning all of these tips that we created. So that's where you'll see on the piece of paper, I start to organize the looks. And I've actually have like 10 of these sheets of paper as I write them out. And no, that's not going to work. Switch these up. Nope, let's change this. Let's put it in this order. From that, then we decide, okay, as we move on to the next picture, the team. So I sat down and decided the looks needed to contrast. The looks needed to be bright. The nails needed to pop and stand out from the looks, but still feel like circus, gypsy, and showgirl. So I wanted the looks to be simple, but bright. I wanted the looks to have depth. Like one of the cool things that we have now is OPI's chrome effect powders. And a lot of people, use them over white and use them over black and some nudes, some basic colors. But I really wanted to play with these for summer because they're not just for chrome looks. They actually add a great metallic look to any color that you use them on. So what I did is literally took the shades like Pay Me and Rubies and actually, applied this over the top of our Summer Lovin' Having a Blast. So taking the highlighted color in your chrome and matching that to your gel polish. So we had a chromed orange with a bit of a pink tint to it. Using Blue Plate Special over No Room for the Blues to give you a blue chrome that had depth and a sheen to it that you're not going to get with color alone. And I think this is a perfect summer trend, is really chroming out your iconic and classic primary and secondary colors. But then Jeremy said he loves sparkle. So how do we add sparkle to this and still keep it following suit? Why not think about confetti and festivities? And so we started with multicolored glitter that we sprinkled over all the colors. So almost like your hands were dipped in confetti or the remnants of confetti after an amazing time at the circus. We also used monochromatic glitters. And as you can see on the board there, all the boards are laid out. And actually, if you look in the background on the boards, you'll see that there's actually numbers. So we create boards, we lay down strips and strips of double-sided tape. We then take all those nail tips that we filed and we lay them out on the boards in the order that they're gonna go on the hands. So there's all kinds of craziness that's happening here. This is all before we even start doing the artwork. We then determine, okay, we've got the looks, let's split them up between the techs. And that was the earlier picture you saw with the team. That was the team that actually created the looks there. Our team OPI that actually created the look. So now people say, is it high stressful? Do problems arise? How do you deal with that? How do you become, how do you use your resourcefulness in these type of situations? In doing that, so actually let's create the looks while we talk about this. Because one of the things I wanted to talk about is that we spent nearly 6 hours filing, shaping, and sizing tips. As I got back to the hotel and started putting the nail looks together, it started to become apparent that the tips that we had spent all the time on were not going to work for the look that we wanted. So now we have 500 nail tips that are not going to work. I'll pull you a little bit closer. Thank you. 500 nail tips that are not going to work. And the show's the next day. With a little bit of research, we found tips that would work. We got parts of them because quantities were limited and got them to the hotel in time the next morning to start working. We have now 4 hours before the show. We have 10 colors in multiple looks, 3 different styles, which I'm going to show a couple of styles now, that had to be created on over 500 tips for 36 models. And I keep repeating that because you don't know how many girls that is until you're actually there. So the first thing we're going to do is when we created the looks on tips, we don't worry about a base coat. We shortcut steps for time purposes because they're not designed to last. When we're doing this in the salon, obviously we want to go through the steps. So we start with cleansing the nail with our NAS 99. We then use our Bond-Aid to pH balance the nail. And then apply our base coat.
Tom, someone wants to know what your 3 must-have colors in your kit are.
Great question. So the question I've received is, what are the 3 must-have colors in my nail kit? And right now, there actually are iconic shades. Alpine Snow White is a super hot, popular color. My favorite red, Big Apple Red, which is also widely requested. And this summer, I'm also seeing a lot of clients using dark shades. So Lincoln Park After Dark and Russian Navy are also in my tops list. Of course, as well as the full grease collection. Our base coat is applied, and we will go into the light for 30 seconds and go back to our pictures. So where are we now? We're at the show. So we've got the team. We have a few hours to get all of the brand new tips polished and the looks started. We get about 2/3 of the way done, and the models are starting to arrive at the show. We need to pack up and get to the show. So when we get to the show, we're not ready yet because the models themselves are in hair, they're in makeup, and the tips that we brought to the show still have to be perfected. Once you create the look on the boards, each tip still has to be taken off, the sides cleaned up because a lot of times the polish, the effects get off to the sides of the nails and they won't fit perfectly. So you actually have to go in and clean up each tip. So at the show, we're joined by 2 more OPI team members. So now there's 6 of us. They start refining the tips and getting them on the models that are also getting hair done, also getting makeup done. So, but no stress, no stress. We then have to sit there, and the other part of the team is actually finishing up the looks on the other nails. So now we're finishing up the nails, models are getting nails done, and we're starting to get a few of our behind the scenes pictures. Now the looks for this were a few dark shades, mostly bright shades, as well as metallics. Summer is a perfect time to use our mixed metals chrome, which is a holographic chrome because there's lots of color in it And to me, I think it works as the perfect accent or party nail. So we're going to start by creating our base, and I'm going to use Alpine Snow because black onyx gives you more of a deeper metallic, but we want a brighter, more fun metallic. So we're going to start with Alpine Snow. I like to push the gel back, keep it very thin, get close to the cuticle, and then simply work it out to the edge. Cap off your free edge. Now, I'm going to actually combine all three of our looks on one hand. That's the fun of summer, is that you can do what you want. Play with bright colors, play with metallic chromes, play with monochromatic glitters, holographic mylars. Let the nails be your accessory. Sorry, let the nails, I'm used to saying that, let the nails be your accessory. Let the nails be your jewelry, right? It's summer, we're active. We don't always get to wear the jewelry, or it doesn't make sense to wear the jewelry all over the place. Add the sparkle to your nails. Let your nails be the jewelry for summer. Bright colors, fun, metallic effects. Now we're going to do No Room for the Blues, which was another one of our looks. And I understand that these looks aren't nail art intensive, and they weren't meant to be. The whole idea behind it was how they punctuated the sentence, how they finish off the look for the show. The same thing is with our clients in the salon, right? Yes, we can do crazy, insane nail art, but not everybody wants it. So it's how do we give our clients what they want the most? Normally when I'm creating a look too, it takes multiple tries. I normally don't create a look and get it perfect the first time. I'll do a look and then I'll try more looks. I'll do color combinations. If I'm using a multicolored glitter over a color, I might try it over 10 different colors. I might try layering colors to create the perfect shade. As an artist, I continually have to step away. My wife gets so frustrated because she's like, where are you going? You just started. But I have to step away and then come back and see it with fresh eyes. Maybe not so conducive in the salon. Your clients might, where are they going? But it works for me when I'm trying to design a look.
Tom?
Yes.
What's your most requested nude shade?
What's my most requested nude shade? I'm going to have to say my most requested nude shade at the moment is Lay Take Me Away, as well as for when you're looking for that kind of semi-opaque or mostly opaque full coverage nude. And then if you want more of like a natural or sheer nude, it's probably put it in neutral. And then sometimes I'll layer that. Put it in neutral, one coat of put it in neutral with one coat of bubble bath to just make it brighter and more fresh. A lot of that depends on skin tones. All right, so we're going to do a second coat. So on the first nail that we did with the this nail is where I'm going to use mixed metals, and I really don't need two coats for that. I simply need a nice even foundation to give me an even look with the chrome effect. On our middle and ring finger, which is No Room for the Blues, this is basically our base color, and so it needs to be Perfect. So we're going to do 2 coats. On all of the rest of our fingers. Make sure to cap off the edge. When I polish, I normally start with the brush about 3/4 back on the nail. I'll put pressure to fan out the brush so it follows the shape of the cuticle. And then I push the gel back towards the cuticle, leaving a tiny free margin. And I'll just rotate the finger as I polish. So when I polish in the center, then I'll rotate it and I'll polish down the side, which allows me to make sure that I get complete coverage. And then I'll do the same thing down the opposite side. I also like to apply the color very thin so that it looks more like a traditional polish and not like, you know, a big thick gel polish.
So someone asked if the 1 coat of gel color,
Yes.
it looks pigmented.
What does that mean?
It looks pigmented. So would that be your sort of pro tip for making sure that there's enough coverage on the nail?
Okay, so the question is...
It says, the 1 coat of gel color looks so pigmented. Do you have any application tips? So what you were just describing, would you consider those your application tips for making sure that they're pigmented?
Yes. So the question is, it looks so pigmented with 1 coat. And that's the thing. With the OPI colors, most of the colors are very highly pigmented. And so you can apply them nice and thin. Sometimes the first coat will look a little more sheer, but then you'll get complete coverage with your second coat. To me, it's all about an even application of the color. So again, I'll go through the steps of what I do. So I start about 3/4 of the way back. I'll angle my brush up to allow me to get closer to the cuticle. The smaller the cuticle area that I have to work with, actually the higher I'll angle my brush. Get rid of that label. I'll angle my brush up higher. It's hard to see with the orange and orange. Let's see. So if I'm here, I would angle it up higher to get tighter around the cuticle, but then I lay the brush flat as I brush out the color so that I get a nice even coat. If you leave the brush at an angle when you apply your color, you're going to find that the tips of the bristles are actually going to pull or create streaks in your color. So I'll raise my brush as I go high to the cuticle so I can get close, and then I go flatter as I come out, and I finish with a nice flat brush to give me a smooth, even coverage from side to side. Now, if I happen to get any gel on the skin, then I'll take I like to use an acrylic brush because I feel like they're very precise, dipped in remover, and just remove any gel that's on the skin before I go into the light. Hello, I'm back again. Sam, do we have any other questions?
So do you want to just remind us the shades of the colors that you're using right now? We
Yes.
have a couple questions coming in about those.
Perfect. So the shades that I'm using now are from our iconic shades. And that would be our Alpine Snow. This is what I'm using as my base for our mixed metallics chrome effect. We did this look for a number of the models that had showgirl dresses. We wanted a metallic look that kind of played off of everything. And I love the holographic effect and all the colors in it, in the mixed metals chrome effects, especially for summertime, because it works as a perfect accent nail to any of these bright colors that we might use.
Feel free to show them underneath the other camera, too.
Oh yeah, I knew that. So you can see all of the colors that the holographic And I know this is like a duh, that's the whole point of it, but use that to play off of when creating your summer looks. You can see the primary and secondary colors in that. So play off of that for summertime. That's what makes this kind of the perfect chrome by itself. The other shades that I'm using is from our classic shades, and that's No Room for the Blues, which is one of my favorite blues, and also a favorite by Selena Gomez. And then, of course, searching out those bright primary colors. One of my all-time favorite colors is orange, and so Summer Lovin', having a blast from our recently released Grease collection, which if you don't have it, get it now because it's almost gone. Before I started doing nails, I went to school for graphic design. I wanted to airbrush race cars and motorcycles, and so big into hot rods, and that's why this color attracts my attention. When I was little, my dad had a 57 Chevy Bel Air painted competition orange, and it was almost this exact same color. So I gravitate towards that. Okay, now comes the fun and easy part, and that's actually creating the glitz and glam and excitement and the whole festive feel to the nails. First, we'll start with the mixed metals chrome effect to do our accent nail. Now, we've applied our coat of Alpine snow. Before we can apply the chrome effect, we have to use our no cleanse top coat. I'm going to do this nail by itself just to show. I'm going to pull you this way a little bit. There we go. We apply our top coat. Thank you. And we're going to go into the light quickly to cure that. Sam, do we have any questions? We'll go back and forth.
Ever done a 5-minute manicure? And if so, what were your tips on doing it quickly?
Oh, quick question. Have I ever done a 5-minute manicure? Fortunately, no, but I did do 3 manicures in 15 minutes. Does that count? So it was at the AMAs with Beyonce. She wanted one look to walk the red carpet in. She was the first performer, so she wanted one look to do her performance in, and then she wanted to change up the look again as she walked out to go sit in the audience to watch the rest of the show. And again, this is presented to me after we're there. What are we gonna do? So the cool thing, and especially with gel color, one of the things you can get away with is using a traditional nail lacquer or infinite shine color over the top, and then simply remove it, and you still have the gel color underneath. So I painted her nails in one color for her to walk the red carpet. I then had a separate set of tips painted that I applied for the performance, and then another color ready to put over the top. I actually used a chrome applique that went over the nails, but you could do the same thing using a gel color on the tip, then using the chrome with the nail lacquer top coat. So this way you could have a chrome on top for the night. Let's say you're going out for the weekend, then simply remove the chrome because it's in lacquer and have your gel color underneath for the next week when you go back to work. So you can actually layer the colors and create some cool fun looks and get it done super, super fast. All right, so we've applied our no cleanse top coat. Now we're going to take our mixed metals. All you need is a little bit, and you don't need a lot of pressure. Simply just rub it in Nice and easy. Da-da-da. And you have your mixed metal look. And I love that how bright the white background makes it. It's funny, I see people dump lots of powder on and they're going in and really scrubbing it, and you don't need to. Just simply apply it softly to the top. Now what we're going to do is, to make sure that this lasts, we're going to take our file and we're going to remove the free edge, or run our file along the free edge to make sure we remove any of the chrome effect on the free edge that might block proper adhesion from our top coat. Take a brush, remove any excess of our effect, and finish it with a final coat of no cleanse top coat. Super simple, super easy. Now don't be afraid also to have fun with this. If you wanted to take this and then sparkle some chunky holographic, large chunks of glitter or multicolored glitter on top of that, just to add effect. Clean up any top coat that might be on the skin. And we'll go back into the light. So for this look on the models, we did all the nails in the mixed metal, but then we did 2 accent nails in super chunky, large holographic glitter so that they really stood out and were kind of eccentric in the overall look. Again, as the models came to the table, we actually chose each individual look for every model. So the models were brought to us one at a time, and we sat down and said, this color will contrast that and stand out the most. This color for that. Some of the models, we actually switched hands where they wore 2 blue thumbs and pink fingers, or they had a gold hand and a silver hand. And we really had fun with the looks. Now you can see on the pictures what we did is, so time's running short, just like it is now. The nails are basically done. We've got all the nails done. The models have to go into rehearsal. The models come back from rehearsal. We have about 30 minutes before they're ready to walk the runway, and we've done 11 girls because of how tied up everybody else was. We've got to get the rest of these girls done, and we grab all of our stuff, we move outside, and we start finishing the girls up outside the tent before they start lining up for the show. Once this happened, most of the girls are done. They're now being called to get in line for the show. It starts in 3 minutes, and we're finishing up literally in line while they're ready to walk the runway. We're putting the final nails on and just finish it up as they say, let the show begin. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how quick and easy this final step is. We have our 2 coats of color. We're going to use our no cleanse top coat.
Someone asked Tom.
Yes.
I always felt the lacquer makes the gel gummy. When you say remove the lacquer from the gel color, you would do that with a non-acetone remover. Is that correct?
Okay, so the question is, I found that removing lacquer from the gel seems to make the gel feel a little bit gummy. Should we use a non-acetone nail polish remover? I personally have not found that. I normally make sure that the nail's cured. Sometimes what you can do is make sure that when you cure your top coat, especially if you're going to do it back to back, cure it for 60 seconds instead of 30 seconds, just so you have a super hard cure to your top coat. Then apply your lacquer. And you shouldn't have that problem. You should be able to remove the lacquer with an acetone-based polish remover and still have a perfectly nice hard shine. We're going to do both of these looks at the same time because they're virtually the same look. We apply our no cleanse top coat, but we don't cure it yet. While the top coat is still wet, we're going to now add our effect. How are we on time?
Yeah. 3, 4 minutes.
Perfect. So there's two ways you could do that. You can cure this and then apply a matching chrome effects. This is Blue Plate Special, which would look perfect over this. And then apply, actually, let's do that real quick. We've got time. We've got like 3 minutes. We're going to make this happen. Cleaning up my messiness from top coat, if you have any. Okay, we're going to put that into the light. Also, I found that when I'm working with the chromes, I can actually get away with curing the no cleanse top coat for like 15 seconds before applying the chromes, and they stick really well that way. That's a little artist trick, not necessarily OPI endorsed. All right, so now we're going to take our Blue Plate Special. Quick chrome. And Samantha, if you have any more questions, I'm happy to take them.
Someone wants to know if you use any of the OPI Axiom gel to do extensions, or do you use acrylic, and why? Great
question. Have I ever used any of the OPI Axiom gels to do extensions, or do I only use acrylic? I've actually used both. I used to primarily use acrylic, but on a lot of the movie sets and in specific client homes, they didn't necessarily like the odors from acrylic, and so would use a hard gel so that I still had the strength from that. So for this chrome effect, we're going to use Pamian Rubies, which is a bit gold and a bit red at the same time, which makes for a perfect orange chrome effect. So cool. Then we're going to remove any excess powder. We're going to apply our final coat of our no cleanse top coat. In my rush, I forgot to file the tip. Make sure you file the tip to remove any of that chrome powder off of the tip to make sure that you get the longest wear out of your chrome powders. And now the coolest part of this is adding our glitz and glam to the look. And we're going to do that by simply, I'm going to clean up around the nail real quick.
Tom, can you also speak about the chrome effects being available in nail lacquer as well? For nail lacquer.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? I didn't know about this. Yes. So we're doing this look using our OPI gel polish, but the chrome effects is available in nail lacquer as well. We have a special nail lacquer top coat that will work the exact same as it does with the gel polish. That's what I was talking about using earlier when I was saying use a gel color, then use the nail lacquer with the chrome to create a different look, and then remove that whenever you're, as often as you change your attitude. All right, so we've got our no cleanse top coat. It's wet. We haven't gone into the light. We're going to take our multicolored confetti and we're going to drip it on the nails. Just on the blue nails for this look. And you want it kind of sporadic. So I kind of want areas of the glitter, like over in that corner and then over on the tip of this nail, but not over the whole thing. Kind of push these back onto the nail. Remember, it's almost like you've just come from the party and you've just got remnants of a good time all over your nails.
That looks so cool, Tom. Where did you get the sprinkles from or the confetti from?
The confetti you can get either online at a beauty supply or even an art store. Now I'm going to use a mylar, a monochromatic mylar. So I used orange, then I used Pamey and Rubies to give me an orange chrome effect, and then now I'm going to use an orange mylar. Now with the mylar, I'm going to be a little bit more deliberate and cover a little bit more of the nail. So it's like chunky pieces of orange on top of it. Where the confetti glitter was more kind of sporadic, for the orange, I want it to kind of be all over. I want it to really pop and stand out and give us almost like a shattered glass effect or broken glass on the nail. Some of the larger pieces you can go in and just kind of replace, make sure they're pressed nice to the nail. Remove any pieces you don't want. And then we're going to cure that in the light for 30 seconds. And our effects will actually stay right on the nail. But that's not good if you don't want it there. There we go. All right. Into the light for 30 seconds. Do we have any other questions? Finishing up the looks.
Any tips on making sure the powder doesn't get into the top coat bottle?
Good question. Are there any tips in making sure the Chrome Effects powder doesn't get back into the top coat bottle? The key to that is after you've put the chrome powder onto the nail and you've created your look, make sure, I use an old makeup brush, but a manicuring brush, and you want to remove any excess powder onto the nail. That will help it from getting on the brush. Also, after you put the top coat, each time before you go back in the bottle, feel free to just wipe off your brush on a lint-free pad, like our Expert Touch. No product sales there. And voila. Yes.
That looks gorgeous. Can you tell us exactly what you used on each nail one more time just to wrap up?
Absolutely. So for our chromed accent or party nail, I used Alpine Snow as my base color. Then we used the Chrome Effects powder by applying one coat of our No Cleanse top coat. Our mixed metals Chrome Effects powder. Brushing off any excess, and then finishing with a final coat of our No Cleanse top coat. For our blue confetti nails, we used No Room for the Blues, 2 coats to give us a nice solid color. We applied our Blue Plate Special, let me find it here, Chrome Effects powder. You can see the blue highlight in it to give us that metallic highlight. Our No Cleanse top coat, and while it's still wet, multicolored confetti glitter sprinkled over the top randomly to just adorn the nails and give it some glitz, glamour, and fun. Then for our monochromatic mylar, we used Summer Lovin', Having a Blast as our base color. We used, where are you? Pay Me in Rubies. Sorry guys, I got to keep my hands in the right place. Pay Me in Rubies, and you can see the gold and red highlight running through that for our chrome effect. And then our No Cleanse top coat, and while it's still wet, our sprinkle of orange mylar to just give it that really chunky kind of glass house effect. Again, all trying to keep in mind with the whole circus theme, gypsy, showgirl, you know, having fun. And then when it's all done, we all just like to sit back and relax and think about the great time that we had. Okay, I had a great time. All right, guys, thank you so much. I hope you learned a little bit about the process, what goes on behind scenes, how to roll with the punches, and just all the prep work that really goes into making, you know, a couple-minute show happen. Thanks again. Hope you join me next time. Go to OPI.com to check out all the latest releases and check out the grease collection and the iconic shades. Thank you.